Coach, first off, congratulations. I know it's sort of a given that Penn-Trafford's going to be in the playoffs, but you still have to go out there and get it done on the field. You guys have done that once again in the regular season, and now you can shift your focus to the playoffs. But first, great regular season, as we mentioned. What has really stood out about this year's version of the Warriors?
Just the resilience of the kids. They're a resilient group. They're a definite high energy group. And, the number one standout, in the whole season has been Mia. Mia has just taken charge this year. And, I hope she continues to do so. Actually, I don't hope. I know she'll continue to do so. She'll give everything and more to the playoffs and things coming up.
Well, you're talking about Mia Smith, the senior, and it's so interesting to think back to when she was a freshman, the key role she played in winning a state title when you guys made that incredible run. How much does that pay off this time of year when you have a player who's been there 4 years and who's been through and succeeded at the highest level?
The experience that she has. She's been there since freshman year, like you said, and came in high leverage situations all year that year. And then, COVID hits and we were expecting another great year. Then she comes out last year after the COVID season and, she pitched great, but she fought some adversity last year with, getting hit around a little bit sometimes, and she wasn't used to that. So, she tucked that away, and she came out this year just with a vengeance, and, she has many, many goals, and she's reaching many, many goals. And like I said, way back when she was a freshman, this kid is focused, and she's ready to go. She's the ultimate competitor.
And I think the way you spoke about Mia maybe applies to a lot of her teammates as well, where I think there was probably maybe a little bit of disappointment with how 2021 ended. Now, obviously getting 15 wins, that's a good accomplishment, but falling in the quarterfinals seemed like maybe short of the ultimate goal. Has that been fuel throughout this offseason heading into 2022 to write a different ending?
Well, I think you want to expect a different ending. We don't look at the past. And we never do. We don't dwell on it. We didn't hang our signs up this year from a state championship 4 years ago because it's a totally different team. This is a totally different team. We do not talk about anything that happened in the past. Everything's going forward. Going into this postseason, we're 0-0, and all their batting averages are 0-0-0. So it's a new season. They call it the second season for a reason. Answering your question, I don't think we really ever compare it. Comparison is the thief of happiness, basically. So we don't compare teams.
You have 4 seniors on the roster. They are all college-bound players. The Rapp twins headed to Geneva, Hannah Allen, W&J, and then obviously we mentioned Mia Smith headed to Pitt Johnstown. But you have a lot of juniors and sophomores who have stepped up, and maybe even some freshmen who have seen some time. Who has really stood out among those players that has maybe impressed you?
I'll tell you, they all have impressed me. They all. I didn't know what to expect coming into this season. And at different times during the season, we've had freshmen step up. We've had sophomores step up. And now we have our seniors, continually stepping up. The Rapp twins, you mentioned them. They are the heart of our team. They are they're like mothers, to the team, and they show them they lead by example. They show them how to act, and then they go out and do it on the field. Maddie Rapp this year has really stepped up, filling in as catcher, and she's done an outstanding job catching. And then her bat's coming around. It's heating up. She had accounted for the only run in the York game. So she had a home run solo shot, and she's not a big kid. She just takes a nice hack at the ball. So, we've had so many kids step up during the season at different times. That's what makes this team, you don't know who you're going to be hanging your hat on that day, and that, except there's one constant, and it's, definitely Mia leading everybody. And she is, definitely who we're hanging our hat on. But our second pitcher, Mackenzie, she had major back surgery. Both of the Rapp twins had major back surgery in November, and we weren't sure if we were going to have them. And they build up, and now, it's late in the season, but Mackenzie's shown me she's of her form of last year, where I started her in that playoff game against North Hills, and she did a fine job. So, I mean, I don't even know where the question started, but I think it is who has helped. It's a team effort.
And one thing that's been sort of a constant during your run is that the team typically hits pretty well and hits with some power. And I know you've worked a lot with that in terms of your background as a baseball player and having a lot of success. Is that something that continues to be applicable to every different team? Do you always want the team to kind of hit with power, or is it you look at the individuals and see what works best for them?
Well, I mean, as far as the hitting goes, like, we have a few freshmen that are really, really strong hitters. The thing is, we started working with them when they were in 5th and 6th grade. A few of those kids I've given lessons to since they were, little kids. We never really look for the power. We look for, solid contact, good contact, quality at bats, putting a good hack on the ball. And then if you get the 2 strikes, you take your 2-strike approach, and that's putting the bat on the ball. So the home runs are just a bonus. They come when you get good wood on the ball, or, good alloy, whatever it is. But you get the meat of the bat on the ball, and the ball will go. So I don't think we're really teaching a power swing. We're teaching a quality swing for quality at bats.
Let's talk a little bit about the 5A bracket. Your team gets the number 2 seed, Armstrong, the number 1 seed. What was your reaction to that? Is that something that you had anticipated, or how did you respond when you saw how the bracket played out?
I think for the first time in a long time, I think they got the brackets right. Armstrong earned that number 1 seed. They have quality hitters top to bottom. They are definitely a team. They remind me a lot of my 2017, 18, 19 teams, where you just don't know who to pitch to. So yeah, they earned a number 1 seed, and they deserve it. We are a good, tough team. We're a different Penn-Trafford team that we have been in the past. We got a lot of speed, and we have pitching. So, it's, if that comes a matchup, and I mean, you've been around a long time, I've been around a long time, it never ends up how it looks like, so we don't know who's going to get knocked off. Somebody's going to. You just got to go into it day by day and go into the playoffs knowing that this is a new season, and whatever happened in the past does not matter.
So speaking of past success, your first round opponent, the 15th seeded Plum Mustangs, they're a team that has a pretty good softball tradition. I know that maybe this is a little bit of a down year for them, but what stands out about your first round opponent in Plum?
It's Plum. We have a long history with Plum, and they are always tough, and they're always going to battle. It doesn't matter. Like I said before, it doesn't matter your seed. You go into these playoffs, what matters is you step on the field that day and perform. And they will be a tough competitor, as will everyone else going through the playoffs. So Plumboro has always, I'm going back to my younger years with coaching Megan, who's now 24 years old. Plum has always been a tough matchup. I can think of a game when she was 8 years old where Plum was our rival. So, yeah, it's never easy, and they're going to be up and ready for the game.
And finally, number 2 seed, you're in a good spot heading into the playoffs. What's going to be the biggest key to make a postseason run?
Well, the biggest key is your pitching and your hitting. It's just quality ball. Go out there and keep playing that quality softball. And, getting their heads ready mentally and being ready to go through and understand, because we got a lot of young kids who last year did not understand what the playoffs were about, and now they do. Now we have a lot of young kids this year, as in 40% of our team, 45% of our team is freshmen, and we do get them in the lineup during a varsity game. So just getting them ready, prepared mentally, to let them know that, never let your guard down. There are teams out there who want to knock you off all the time, and you got to be at the top of your game every time you step on the field.
Well, Denny, thanks for taking the time. Congratulations on a great regular season, and hopefully we'll get a long postseason run at the Warriors once again in 2022.
All right. Notice I wear my PT hat.
Yep. No Seton Hill attire today, huh?
Well, I had to step back a little bit this year. My daughter's playing against them. Well, played against them. Their season ended yesterday. Bloomsburg. Seton Hill won the regional, and they will be heading to the Sweet 16, which is awesome.
And I'm sure a lot of those players would give you some credit for your help over the years with their swings as well.
Well, their college coaches do a lot more with them than I have. I mean, they're near and dear to me. When I was out at the PSAC tournament, there was so many Penn-Trafford, Hempfield girls and girls that I've worked with in the past. And, they all come up and give me the hug and, wish them good luck. And in the end, I'm rooting for Bloom. And if Bloom don't make it, here we go, Seton Hill.
There you go. Well, Denny, thanks so much for doing this.
Westmoreland County, buddy.
All right, you got it. Denny Little, head coach of the Penn-Trafford Warriors.